and enter Allah's oceans of rahmah. Alhamdulillah that all realities are found in La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And every practice that we do, the depth of its reality, we should be able to go back into La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Means that at every reality, if you go deep enough into that reality, it must go back to that understanding that there is nothing but Allah and that we are from the creation and from the lights of Muhammadun Rasulullah. That is the oneness, that is the declaration of faith that Allah wants from us, and the understanding of true oneness, that we are from that ocean Ruh al-Wahid, that we created you from one soul and made its pairs and its mates. Means that everything coming from that ocean and the power of that ocean is Allah. And if you hurt or damage one from that ocean, the whole of that ocean will feel it. That's why if you take one soul, as if you've taken the whole of all souls, means that it's all coming from one ocean, and that ocean feels all of it. But we make ourselves to be a drop, an individual, we give ourselves a name and an identity, and then we begin to separate ourselves from the reality of that ocean. And all of our submission and all of our practices and all of what Allah has sent of the messengers to reconfirm and to re-understand that you are from that ocean. That I gave you an existence, I gave you a will, and you have the ability to become arrogant, you have the ability to think that we are something, and that we begin to think we are something separate from that ocean, and our whole quest in life is to destroy that reality, destroy the image we put upon ourselves, the mirror that we put upon ourselves, the reflection we put upon ourselves that is separate from the ocean of reality, that many times, and you can contemplate deep, that we are just a drop. We gave ourselves an importance, all of Islam is submit and go back into that ocean. So then it has to be based on the reality of La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. So you can't say the ocean is Allah, because then you're becoming one with Allah, la shareek. You can't become shabi and like Allah, so then Allah is the power of creation. Like our computer, you are the one running the computer and the computer is doing what it's told to do. Allah the same, that I have created you, don't worry about understanding me, is find yourself. Who knows himself will know his Lord. Then the quest of our life, the reality of Islam, Iman wal Ihsan, is to break down our self and our identity and go back into that ocean, go back into that reality that, Ya Rabbi, I want to understand the reality of Muhammadun Rasulullah. Means that we come into Tawheed, and Allah sent the Prophets that tell them about oneness, because you have to accept to come into the ocean, and in that ocean is a center. So you have to accept oneness in your life. So we say La ilaha illallah is the door into the ocean. It's not the door into the highest realities right now. This is the La ilaha illallah of accepting the oneness of the Creator. Because some people say there are many circles of creation, many gods, astaghfirullah. But this reality that Allah wants for us, that you are from one soul, one reality, that dot of creation can be infinitely expanded. That's for people to ponder. That Allah makes one creation, one dot, it's merely just one dot. Now with electron microscope they can take that dot begin to zoom. As soon as they zoom, means anything you approach expands. Anything you move away from contracts. It didn't change. It was the same dot. Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying all of that creation is in that dot. As much as you move into that dot, they found this universe is infinitely expanding. As fast as they go in, they say, oh, it's infinitely fast and expanding away from us. Because they're trying to catch creation. They don't know they're in the ocean of creation. How you can catch something that you're in? So like on a plane, you look and say, oh, the horizon is there, I'm going to catch. Because before they had no brain, so they would say, oh look, we're going to fall off the earth. Because they would sail and they see the horizon and say, don't go any further, we're going to fall. But now we're supposedly more intelligent. I think they were more intelligent then. We're more intelligent and we realize that we fly, you see the horizon, you're not falling off anywhere. The horizon expands. Because of circular motion and the speed in which it's moving. As much as you go, you're not going as fast as its spin. And because of that illusion, Allah Azza wa Jalla gives the earth as if it's infinitely expanding. You walk, you're not going to fall off anywhere. Unless your speed of acceleration will be faster than the spin of the earth. Then you move out of its grasp. But for us it's the reality that Allah Azza wa Jalla is showing. See how that is on the earth? As much as you approach my circle, just one dot, it's infinitely expanding. And if you move away from it, with Google Earth you can now play with this reality. You take Google Earth, expand and move into the earth, you can see the cells on a flower. Zoom out, you can see the whole of the earth, and the earth is like a dot on this universe of the Milky Way, on this galaxy. This galaxy within the greater universe is an epsilon, something not even seen, confirming you are just a dot. You gave yourself a proportion, you gave yourself an importance, you as in we. We gave ourselves an importance, we gave ourselves a form and a figure. The reality that all the Prophets came, that La ilaha illallah doesn't accept your form, doesn't accept what you put upon yourself of importance, that take the way of negation. Negate yourself. Negate yourself as non-existent, non-important, that Ya Rabbi there is nothing but you, there is nothing but you, there is nothing but you, and I don't exist. Means I'm nothing, and my nothingness Allah Azza wa Jal begins to teach, then go into the realities of Muhammadun Rasulullah. Means that even the Hajj is teaching us, because everything confirms these realities. That Allah Azza wa Jal says, you're not coming to me, you're not coming into my oceans, you're accepting my oneness. But who knows himself will know his Lord. His rububiyyah, His lordship, that which governs him. Didn't say that who knows himself will know the Creator. Means the hadiths are very specific, depending upon how you were raised and who taught you your language will lock your understanding. So those in the West, they will rise with the flag of realities because nobody taught them that language. So their minds and hearts are free into what Allah Azza wa Jal wants them to understand. Means the concept of Rabb and every word of holy hadith is that what is the lordship in which governs you in life. If you know what governs you, you will know the ultimate governance. Means what governs us at first is bad desires. When we break those bad desires and move into that circle to annihilate ourselves, we realize that there are many realities within this ocean that we must understand. So then one of the realities of Hajj, take off all your identity, take off what makes you to feel unique about your wealth and your status, and come and circumambulate that ocean. We said before that the Kaaba has a deep reality. It represents the heart of the believers who have the love of Allah Azza wa Jal, qalb al-mu'min. That's the Baytullah, where all the qalb al-mu'min, the heart of the believers, They have directed themselves to that location. So it's, oh believers, come and take all your identity off, and you put a white sheet, and from a microscope you look like nothing. Just a little white moving little thing. Just like the origin in which you came into your mother's womb. That's the greatness of Allah's sciences. How you came into this earth as a little white little fish with a tail, swimming in the womb of your mom's reality, a haramain, no haram. And Allah sent one Kaaba as a cell, and you made tawaf, and you went into that reality and you were born. Allah reminding us, your tawaf is not finished, your hajj is not finished, your pilgrimage to me is never finished. Now that you have a form and a name and an identity, again take it all off and put two sheets and come into that ocean. Labbaik Allahumma labbaik means we heard, we came, and now we're moving in that ocean. Again, to identify for us that we're just a light, and Allah wants us to reach the reality of our light. And they begin to teach, then the spectrum in which your light is operating is important. Means that if we come and build ourselves with knowledges and realities, the frequency of your light will move closer towards that Divinely power and qudra. Means where Allah's Divinely speech is qul, qul, qaf. Allah's ancient qaf wal Qur'an al-Majid is moving on the tongue of truth. That is the center of that ocean of Muhammadun Rasulullah. So the Hajj and its spiritual Hajj is that always in tafakkur, that Ya Rabbi, let me to come into that circle of circumambulation and to circumambulate that reality of the soul of Prophet. And then Allah says, then you shoot for the center of that circle, which is the qalb, which has my qaf and has the tongue of truth, which is qul. That's what makes the qalb to the ba. Because from that ba, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, is everything like a fountain is flowing out. Because you're now at the fountainhead. When you go to the fountainhead, you see everything is flowing from that fountain. We're all of Qur'an, 30 juz and 7 verses of Fatiha, all of Fatiha in Bismillah, all of Bismillah in the Ba, all of Ba in the Nuqt, back to the beginning. Allah says, there's no more than just a Nuqt of your creation. I'm infinitely expanding it as you move in. Your mirage into that reality, as you move into the Nuqt, it becomes the Ba, and the Ba unfolds the whole of Holy Qur'an and the whole story of creation. Means then our proximity to that light and to that reality is going to be the elevation of our soul. The souls which are light, if they stay on the outer circumference, the frequency of their light, the clarity of their light, the color of their lights are all differing because of their individual nature and the individuality that they have given to themselves. It's all different colors. As you elevate on that spectrum and move towards the reality, that Divinely knowledge is a Divinely power. Means then these souls that become purified and they begin to make a real hijrah to that source of that qalb, and their souls are moving in the reality of Muhammadun Rasulullah, what we call Haqiqatan Muhammadiyya. This is the Muhammadan reality, that their souls are moving deeper into that reality. They're losing the spectrum of their different colors, the uniqueness. Just like on your Hajj, you come with all your nice clothes and shoes and fragrances, and everyone you can tell all the different nations apart. As soon as you fly within the precincts, they say, now this is the time where you have to don your two sheets. Means lose your identity. What about the souls? That on the outer level of the souls, all of their different uniquenesses they have given upon themselves and differentiated themselves. But as they're coming back into the reality of Al-Wahid, that your reality is one, that as you become cleansed and washed and purified with zikrullah and salawat al-Nabi Sallallahu, these souls are moving very deep into that reality. As they move closer into that reality, they become more dressed from that reality. As they become more dressed from that reality, they begin to lose their former identity and take the identity of what they're being dressed in. The Holy Qur'an describes fi'ikum Rasulullah. The Prophet is within you. Then they come and clarify other people, no, it's not within you, but is amongst you, but the both are the same in the world of light. If you are moving as a light into the center of that light, whether it is amongst you or within you, is your perception of where you are. If you are away from Prophet ﷺ, then maybe you say, Prophet ﷺ is amongst us. Your soul is light. The reality in the center of that is light. The frequency and the spectrum of that light is the secret of Allah's hamd. Is Muhammad, most praised. The centermost point of that circle is Ahamd. Izzatullah is dressing. The alif of Ahmad alayhi salatu salam is the reality of Inna Allahi wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi sallallahu. Means that Izzah is the fountainhead of all fountainheads, is the alif in which Allah dressing insana kamil, the perfected and most perfected soul. And the reality of that soul is it was created to praise Allah, and that's why the word came first. The praise came first. Every book confirms that the praise of the Divine came first. Means yusabbihu bihamdi. Who's a hamdi? Is the muhamd, the ahamd is the reality of Sayyidina Muhammad. That through that praising, that reality in which Allah dressed and created that light and gave it the name Muhammad, is from the manifested world that praise begins to move. From that praise is an energy, from that energy is a light, from all light becomes a form. All of it is in the praise. And its source and its power is in the reality that goes deeper now into that light of the reality of Sayyidina Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Because Allah saying, the praise that you are praising, that making all these frequencies to come out, all these creations to blossom, that's only my izzat that can do that. And that's why Prophet ﷺ said in that reality, Ya Rabbi, nobody can praise you like you deserve to be praised, like you can praise yourself. And Allah says, true, Inna Allahi wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi. The rest is not important because that's in reference to us. If we want to accept, we don't want to accept, it doesn't change the reality. But that qudra and that power that coming out is only from Allah, praising upon Allah's reality, giving the alif. That's why in the huruf you see the hamd, when they say Ahmad and above it is the lillah. So it looks like it's Allah, but Allah is sharing and giving this alif to Sayyidina Muhammad, making that to be Sayyidina Ahmad's reality. When we know that reality and we know the Muhammadan reality, as much as you are moving towards that reality, as much as that reality is dressing you, blessing you, that is the source of Divinely knowledges. The knowledge of that reality is the dress of power. With that dress of power, they are pulling you deeper into that reality to be dressed by that reality. If you become dressed by that reality, then those souls are Muhammadiyun. The sanctity of their souls, the nobility of their souls, the reality of their souls, the emanation that flows around them is because of that oneness. Means there's only one treasure, that is the treasure within the heart of Prophet. There's only one knowledge, it's in the heart of Prophet. There's only one magnificent light, munificent light that Allah giving. There's only one praise light, one beautiful light, one fragrance light is within the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad, who's able to go closest will be dressed the most. So the reality of sainthood, the reality of piety, the reality of beatific oceans, magnificent oceans, Allah's divinely oceans of grace and mercy is then how much you're swimming within that reality. So awliyaullah, they are dressed from a Muhammadan dress. The Prophet light feels their light because they are swimming within the depth of that reality. As close as they can move into that reality, as much as they're emanating out from its secrets. They are dressed from the oceans of Insan Kamil, that light occupies their ears, that light occupies their eyes, that light occupies their tongue, that light occupies their hands and their feet. That is the reason and the reality of that holy hadith. When Allah says, approach me through voluntary worship, means come into that ocean and move into the oceans of love. That you do what you do out of love to reach that reality. I become the hearing in which you hear. Who becomes the hearing in which you hear? From Izzatullah. But Izzatullah, it moves into Izzat al-Rasul wa Izzat al-Mu'mineen. Everything is with an order. It's not a free for all, everybody grab from Izzat. It has a direction in which Allah says, this alif I have given it to Sayyidina Muhammad. If you are that close within the heart of Prophet and Prophet has now dressed you from a Muhammadan reality, and that's what Mawlana Shaykh describes, there is a Muhammadan paradise where the souls are all dressed in the image of the Muhammadan reality. And Prophet sends those souls into different paradises, and wherever they move they feel that they have seen Prophet. That's in paradise. What do you think of dunya? Many people will begin to see a Muhammadan image. What they want us to know is that reality, that is the structure of their sainthood, means the one who's diving the deepest into that reality, the Sultan al-Arifin, the Sultan of the ones who know that reality. From that he takes and gives out to the one below. Then that has a Muhammadan dress. Each wali has a Muhammadan dress from the Muhammadan dress above, and they cannot take outside of that direction. Means it gives us an understanding of that chain. That the one who's the Sultan al-Arifin, the one who's moving deepest into that reality, is taking from those lights of the heart of Prophet and then dressing the whole 124,000 awliyaullah behind them, and each one in a Muhammadan dress. Means they walk the earth with a Muhammadan dress. If you live by them, you begin to have dreams of Sayyidina Muhammad. You begin to have visions in your muraqabah about Sayyidina Muhammad. It's not the top. Because if you don't understand the structure, then we don't understand the tajalli that's coming. The reason why you're having visions, the reason why you're having dreams is because of the Muhammadan dress of that wali. That Muhammadan dress of that wali begins to occupy the entire area, and everybody begins to have visions and sights of Sayyidina Muhammad. because they are the Muhammadiyun. And that wali is taking from the wali above him, and that wali from the wali above him, all the way to the heart of Prophet ﷺ. And that's what Allah describes, because this is for awliyaullah, that hold tight to the rope of Allah and don't separate. For normal people, it's an advice that maybe you should hold tight and come to this reality. But for awliyaullah and pious souls, that we pray one day Allah to make us from those realities. It's something they live by, that you're eating and drinking from that provision. Your soul is being energized from that provision. They can't live without that reality. So it means they understand that where they're holding and what they're taking from. They take from the Muhammadan above them, all the visions and muraqabah and tafakkur that coming must be from that wali. There's no way you are taking from above the head of that wali to go directly to the heart of Prophet ﷺ. That tariq al-adab, that's a complete void of the mannerisms of tariqah. Then why Prophet ﷺ to give to that wali the Muhammadan dress? Because that dress that came, that sainthood that came, that authorization that came, Prophet ﷺ gave in the world of souls. You're going to represent me throughout Allah's creation. Where there are paradises, you will step and represent my Muhammadan reality. Where you walk, people will think that they have seen divine lights. This is from paradise. Imagine what Allah giving to them for dunya. Because paradise is far greater than the realities that are addressing dunya. So they begin to teach. That's why the knowledge is flowing from them. That's why realities are flowing from them. That's why people regain their faith around them. That's why all the barakah and blessings begin to emanate around them. It's not from the different lights of different saints, of different people, of different realities. It all must be from one. From the reality of La ilaha illallah has opened into the reality of Muhammadun Rasulullah, and from the heart of Prophet they're all being dressed. Means then that is the reality of the Hajj, that is the reality of that barakah, and that in these holy months with Muharram opening, it's a year of hijrah. That we are moving, Ya Rabbi, that grant us to move into those oceans, to be dressed by the reality of those oceans, to drink from the fountain at the end is the fountain of the Kawthar, the fountain that has been given to Prophet ﷺ. And how that reflection is reflecting out to Ashab al-Nabi ﷺ. How that reflection is reflecting out to Ahlul Bayt al-Nabi ﷺ. And how that reflection is reflecting out to the Ulul Am, the awliyaullah. That's why we feel the love of Prophet ﷺ. Not because you made a connection and went by yourself and something happened to you, but because the Muhammadan that's living next to you, with you, eating and drinking with you, you are dressed from a Muhammadan light. Anytime you eat, as if Prophet ﷺ's light is eating with you. Every time you drink, as if Prophet ﷺ's light is drinking with you. Many of them understood that in their khalwas. That in their khalwas and seclusions, when Allah isolates them by order of Allah, by order of Prophet ﷺ, by order of awliyaullah, they realize that every time they're sitting for their ni'mat and for what Allah has set aside of a provision for them, it's all from Prophet ﷺ. Because their souls are in that ocean and Prophet ﷺ is giving their provision. These are the nuts that you are reciting. They're under the dome. Which dome? The green dome of Medina. Their souls are emanating within that reality, and Prophet ﷺ, Sayyidina Qasim, is distributing their provisions. What they eat is from the hands and from the table of Prophet ﷺ, of realities. That's why the manifestation of knowledge is. That's why the manifestation of qudra and energies that people feel. They are the reviver of dead hearts. Who? Them and their individual secret, or their proximity to Sayyidina Muhammad. That's the reality. That brings us back into the oneness of understanding. It's not the different people and different secrets. It's the love of one, the love of Allah, love of Sayyidina Muhammad and who is nearest to Prophet. As much as they are near to Sayyidina Muhammad, as much as they are being dressed by these lights, blessed by these lights, whatever you eat and drink from those lights, as if Prophet sitting with you. That's why they sit for long times to eat and drink for long times to eat, so that that ni'mat and that blessing can dress the soul, can bless the soul. We pray that Allah open for us more and more of these understandings. Holy month of Safar is opening, and Safar is a fatah rahmah, is the opening of Allah's rahmah into the cave of safety, which is the cave in the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad InShaAllah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.